So let's start with the SEC Big Ten battle in Columbus. Coming into this game, Matty, you obviously were high on Tennessee, and the offense just so stagnant against the Buckeye defense here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this is Tennessee-Ohio State meeting just for the second time ever. Tennessee won the 1996 Citrus Bowl, 2014, behind Peyton Manning at QB. Can they do it with Nico against this pissed-off Buckeyes team that just lost to Michigan?
Capitalized on the pissed-off.
In the first quarter, Will Howard says, well, you better knuck if you're Buck. And Jeremiah is Buck, the freshman. Jeremiah Smith scores a touchdown. They're up 7-0. Later in the first, Quishon Judkins says, let me get in the end zone. Punches it in, makes reservations for 6. Buckeyes off to a hot start. It's 14-0. We stay in the first. Here's the other running back, Travion Henderson, making moves that are cleaner than the Board of Health. The guy is fast. 21-0 lead in the first, y'all. Sheesh. Go to the second. Everything going well for Ohio State, at least up until this point. Howard throws it to the end zone, and Will Brooks says, get it how you can, and the man has got it. Check out this replay because it's picked off in the end zone.
Not a bad decision. Just want Will Howard to throw this ball a little bit higher and allow Jeremiah Smith to go up there, climb ladder, and catch it at his highest point.
He almost got it, though.
He almost did. And that's how talented this young man is.
All right, so we go to right before the end of the first. Vols trying to make this a game. Nico Imaliava takes matters into his own hands, was running the ball a lot. The guy's going to need an ice bath after this game, Sam. That makes it 21-10. We go to the third quarter now. This game is just all at this point, man. Howard to Smith. I mean, this connection is deadly.
Beautiful throw.
Did I mention he's only 18 years old? He's only 18, y'all. 6'3", 215 pounds, one of the greatest freshman receivers we have seen in this game. Near the end of the third, Quishon Judkins says, we're not done yet. Let me get the rock. And if you smell the end zone, he's going to get in regardless, and you can't do anything about it. Ohio State ends the third, 35-10. And right now in the fourth quarter, the score is 42-10. Now, Matt, this was an Ohio State team coming off of a loss against Michigan, a highly emotional game, but one had a question such as, do they feel sorry for themselves or do they come out pissed off and ready to play good ball?
Yeah.
And that's what they did.
And that's what I feel like every team that has had a loss, right, this season, of course, Ohio State, Michigan, it's a different loss, right? It's the most important game of the year for Ryan Day and for that culture. But, hey, there's a fork in the road, and which way do you go? Do you blame the team, blame the coach, the circumstance, make excuses? Or do you galvanize, come together, get tough, and really just play for the love of each other and to win the game? And, hey, man, when you play that well, man, right in the heart of that Tennessee team right there.
They're planting the flag, all right? They're planting the flag right on the field. The Tennessee logo. Because
that's illegal in this state, all right?
Ohio State does want to make it illegal.
I guess you can't do that to your own state, but
right, it was their own home.
Yeah,
it was,
all right.
It was their own home.
I wasn't really sure, but they went through the proper channels to make that an actual law.
I thought it was really interesting too because Michigan imposed their will on Ohio State, and they dragged them into the phone booth, and they made them play the game that they wanted to play. And tonight, Tennessee wasn't able to impose their will and force Ohio State to play the way that they wanted to. Ohio State and Chip Kelly, this was the best Will Howard has looked all season long. He almost threw for a career high. I think his career high 327. He's got 311 on the game today. This was the best he's looked all year.
He played phenomenally well, super decisive. Really, this was a great one too because this is Jeremiah Smith who kind of runs up and then fakes like an in cut, breaks vertical on the double move. Beautifully thrown football in time and in rhythm. This is just taking advantage of bad defense, right? Basically running like a Tampa 2 type of coverage. They run someone right through that zone. Really good job making the contested catch. But the decisiveness, the mix-up of the inside and outside zone run scheme, a lot of misdirection, a lot of things for the Tennessee defense to read and react to, and they were always a step behind. So Chip Kelly, and that's the thing, right? Everyone got called out after the struggles against Michigan. The worst thing that happened for Tennessee is that Ohio State lost to Michigan.
Yeah.
Chip Kelly came out, called the best game of his career to this point as an Ohio State Buckeye coach. Extremely well-designed offense, aggressive downfield passing, really well thought out as far as how they were attacking the Tennessee defense. And they really just had no answer for it. And not only that, too, on top of it, the scheme of it was great. The execution was great. What's the most important thing about football, though? What's simple about its form?
You got to be able to run the ball.
No doubt.
Be able to play defense.
And really what? Hey, be tough. Out-hit the other team. And we saw that from start to finish. Ohio State just physically out-hit Tennessee. Heavyweight fight. They had a knockout punch in every single quarter of this football game.
And I will say that's kind of the formula of what we've seen from all the games today. And I did say that I'm keeping an eye on their YouTube chat. And this is kind of a part of the conversation here of these first rounds, that home field advantage. I'm looking at you, YouTube chat. My homie Griffin here said, get rid of the home field advantage. It is a coincidence that all of them were blew out as an away team. But I will say,
I like home field advantage.
Yes, you earned it.
Every team that played at home, though, lost this year at home.
That's
that
correct.
was something that you mentioned to us earlier in the year that we were reminded of. So let's keep that in mind. And hey, Tennessee, you play a lot of formidable matchups on the road in the SEC. The truth is that you're just in another class. And I think that's what we realize, right? In these matchups, right, 5 through 12, right, the higher ranked seeds were just the better football team in every aspect, right? Offense, defense, and really controlling the line of scrimmage.
Most coaches came into this college football playoff feeling pretty good about their jobs.
Right.
Ryan Day was in a very precarious spot coming into this game. And for all of the crap Ryan Day gets, his players, you saw Jack Sawyer go up and give him a hug, and they were smiling. Like it was such a cool moment. So congratulations to Ryan Day and for them to be able to come back and play the way that they're supposed to be playing. Play
a lot of pride in that locker room.
Play the way that a $20 million roster probably should play. But now this $20 million roster is going up against another roster that is put together primarily through the portal as well, with a lot of players out at Oregon and Dan Lanning. So we're getting a rematch here. What's kind of your thoughts going into this quarterfinal match on New Year's Day, Maddie?
I think right now Ohio State just playing with that chip on their shoulder, right? And they are, I think, embodying that same vibe that we saw with Harbaugh in Michigan a year ago, where it's just like, it's us versus everybody, and it doesn't matter who you put out there. We are going to take them down. And this was another aspect, too, that I want to see more of as they go into this playoff against Oregon. The running game, right?
I mean,
Henderson, Judkins, physical runners. I don't care that the offensive line is pieced together, by backups and the injuries and all that. It doesn't matter, right? If they do what they did today again against Oregon, they can win that game. We saw Oregon.
They were close.
They struggled against Penn State in controlling the line of scrimmage. So if Ohio State can do a lot of the things on the ground again to help Will Howard in this passing attack, it will make it very difficult for Oregon to defend them for 4 quarters.
Penn State almost had 300 yards rushing against Oregon, 297 to be exact. And one question we've had for Ohio State throughout the whole season is like, what really is your identity? Because sometimes it's like, no, we want to run the ball. We want to be a running team. But no. We want to be a passing team. And getting the ball to Jeremiah Smith as much as possible is a great game plan.
No doubt.
And we have seen that today, and that is something that they didn't do against Michigan. Yes, exactly. So you have all these weapons for Ohio State, and I think they did a really good job at spreading the ball and making sure that they were hitting from every single angle against Tennessee. So this matchup against Oregon, the Oregon Ducks can definitely go toe-to-toe with them because you have that offense on the other side of the ball that can make plays. Now, is Johnson going to be healthy? Is that team going to be good to be able to keep up against Ohio State?
Right.
It's a great matchup. We know.
It's a fun one.
All it was a second less.
They were close.
Second less.
And in this game, Tyleik Williams, dominant. Cody Simon, dominant. Caleb Downs, running all over the place. And the physicality on the outside with their defensive backs. Igbinosun played extremely well again today. That's where I feel like lean into that. Be so aggressive to the point. Force the refs to say, are you going to throw a flag every play? Because that's how aggressive we're going to play.
The chat just said, if you're not Michigan, you're not beating us. So I guess if you're a Ohio State fan, you're like, hey, Michigan's on the playoffs, we good.
A lot of truth to that.
Give a lot of credit to Ohio State's offensive line, too. Remember, they lost Seth McLaughlin. They come out and play really well.
Right.
So, too, did Texas's offensive line today.
I really hope, though, that Oregon, right, playing into that, come out with some winged helmets, all right? Winged Oregon helmets for next week.
So change up the helmets?
Yeah,
Oregon's going to come with a fire fit, too.
Hey, I don't know. Psychologically, that might be like, something to look at. I don't know.
Put on some Michigan colors?
Right, yeah. Imagine. Yeah.